Hi there, it's Kamilah Rose from the Bliss Institute. We're talking money today because I have recently really got into budgeting. I have been following the Budget Mom. I have been looking over the different systems that people use to actually manage their money and figure out what they're going to put where and how they're going to create their budget. So, using some of the information that's been shared, I have created some expense trackers. I have some budgeting per paycheck. So, I know because I get paid twice a month from one income, and I have another income that I get paid once a month, and they're in two separate banks. So I've just been working on figuring out how best to budget my money and how best to get out of debt, because I do have some debt. I have some consumer debt, and I have school loans from undergrad and graduate school. And the school loans are about to go into repayment. And I was very happy that I decided to take a look and see what was going on with my finances, or I would have had a surprise in August. But I was able to go in and give them a call and figure out kind of the best way I want to go about that. But that did kind of mess up the budget that I had set up, because I had not intended to pay those back until January. So I had to adjust some of my things, make some changes. So one of the things that I found, and I'll pull out some of my work. So I've seen a lot of people, they have the Erin Condren planner, the life planner. I have the tool system from, I think it's Office Depot. I really enjoy it. It's the rose gold. It's got the black disc in it. I would like metal ones. I have both the large one and I have the smaller one, both in rose gold. I use my larger one for planning out the budget, for tracking expenses, and then I have the smaller one, and I also do all my Bliss Institute planning. And so I went and bought just some paper to kind of decorate it and make it look nice. And then I have my personal goals in here. I have my weekly. It, of course, has a calendar in it, a full-size calendar. And then I have kind of my information so I can see how much money I'm actually spending and what's going towards debt and all of that fun stuff. And then I have my actual expenses. And so I match these up to go with the energy for the month for the Bliss Institute. So this is my expense tracker. Now I started in June. So since I started in June, that was just I gave myself that month to just figure out where my money goes and figure out what I'm spending money on. And what I found was that I spent a lot of money eating out. So I figured out I had a loose budget, but I really had to work on that. And I really had to fix that. And once I was able to actually sit down and say, okay, I have this money and I can set aside this much, and this is how much I actually probably need for food. And then so this month is testing out the actual budget. So I put aside $70 a week for food, $20 a week for entertainment. So entertainment for me is I like to go get a Starbucks sometimes, or go to the movies or something like that. So $25 for the cats, and that's for the month. That's for cat food and litter. And then $20 for beauty for the month, $20 for home for the month. And home stuff is just toilet paper, tissues, laundry detergent, all that fun stuff. And then $50 for clothes for the month, $50 for car maintenance. So I can pay to get my oil changed, or save up money to get tires. I just hit 50,000 miles in my car, so I know I'm gonna have to get that tune up, but I'm gonna wait on that so I can save up the money for it. And clothes wise, I'm sometimes need new things for work, or even with that, I need new running shoes. So I'm setting that money aside for that. And then I have $30 a week for gas. So that's kind of how and I put those in envelopes. I do use the envelope system. I made some envelopes today, so I'll show those on my next witchy kind of update. But I carry my envelopes with me and I use that system. And I really like it. It's been working really well for me. I've actually had money left over as opposed to how I usually am running out once my budget kind of gets together. And so then I have the expenses. So I was really trying to figure out how best to figure out how much money I needed. I did like the idea of using a zero-based budget where all of your dollars go to a specific place. So whether it's you're spending it, you're saving it, you're paying it down on debt, you're doing whatever, they go somewhere. And because I get paid twice for like my main income, I was like, okay, how do I actually divide this up? And so I figured it out. I just went through and split up how much, because I do still have about 300 or so, 400 in cushion left over. That's just extra money that I don't need and that I don't spend. And so when I work from just the zero base from the exact amount that I get from the check, I've been able to figure out, okay, this will go this far, this will cover this many expenses. And I just know when kind of everything is coming out of my account because I have everything on auto draft and paying everything online. And then I have in my other account the expenses that come out of there. And so I was able to really like create a really nice budget, put money towards debt and paying down. The one that I'm really excited about paying down is the American Express card. I received a refund from my orthodontist because I had an overpayment, and that helped me to bump my payment schedule up about 2 months. So I'm super excited about that. That should be getting done really quickly. And then I have the other half of the month that covers the other half from that second check that I get paid every month. And so that's kind of just how I've broken that down. And then I have I track kind of how much I'm spending. I do have sinking funds. Sinking funds are for those holidays and other expenses that you know are coming up. I had a crap ton of them, and I'm like, I really need to cut down on that. And I worked really hard to like start pulling those down and not have them be so much because they were just the amount of money. It was going to be like over $100 that I need to pull out every paycheck, 105 total. But the problem is that I didn't have that much actually left over after my expenses came out. After my expenses came out to pay for all of the bills that were actually coming out and all of the envelope money that I would need, I only had $40 left over out of the 105. But one thing that I've already seen is I've over budgeted for a couple of things, and so I will probably have that money left over to be able to go and put into my sinking funds. But I'm also looking at, since I have an unexpected bills that I have to pay with the student loans coming into repayment, I'm gonna have to see how this like all works out. I don't have anything conclusive until I know exactly how much I'm gonna have to pay. And so once that is figured out, then I'll be able to actually like figure out how much I need to put aside. Because I do have some money from the different account that I can use to get myself through the end of this year for the student loans, and then just redo my budget in January after I've paid off my American Express. And I have I've had LASIK eye surgery, and so I was paying that off for the care credit, and those will both be done for sure by January. So January, I'll redo my whole budget. I'll figure out how much I owe for my student loans, and then I will like put money towards that so that I can pay myself back for the money I'd like to use for school and start and return to taking classes. I am in a counseling master's program. I already have 2 masters. I guess I'm just like collecting degrees, but I get loan or school tuition reimbursement through my job. So as long as I can pay for the class, I can get the money back. So I'm going to start needing to save that up again. I was going to take a class in the fall, but since I need to pay for these student loans, I'm going to use that money that I had saved to pay for that so that I don't have to accrue any further debt. And then I have my forms so that I know how much I need to pull out for the cash envelopes. And I just kind of repeat the system, and I'm editing my forms as I go. I'm editing what I use because I just went ahead and created everything on Publisher. And that means that it's, mine. I can just change it however I want to. And then I have some trackers, some different things, some ideas that I got from the Budget Mom about like fun ways so I can see kind of like what I need. So I just made this one on, I think on Publisher, either on Publisher or Canva. But I made this one to track my sinking funds. And then I have this one to color in for my sinking funds, and they're diamonds, and they're in kind of like the 7 chakra colors. So one thing I've really enjoyed is being able to combine my spiritual part of everything with the budgeting and the money. And I know there's a lot of folks who do work with prosperity, and they do work with, like money magic and things like that. And I love that. I'm totally into it. But it was just something that didn't click for me. I don't know what happened or why it took me so long to get here, but I'm finally like, okay, I actually have to get this together. I tried making a budget last January, and I made the budget, but I didn't have anything concrete to actually like follow through with it. And I just wasn't keeping up with it. And so now, with my envelopes, with these YouTubers that I like to watch. It's Plan with Lakin. She does some budgeting. She does some planner work. She does some like kind of all around stuff. And it's been really, really helpful for me to be able to actually like figure out how I want to manage my funds and how to best make them work for me. And what I found is like, when I was younger, I could save money. It was never a problem. And I still have like cash in random places here. But I was like, I just kept meeting this threshold, and I just couldn't seem to get over that threshold as far as savings and everything like that. And I was just like, there is a blockage there. Like for me, I interpret it as an energetic blockage, and I have to figure out how to clear that blockage, how to change my relationship to money. And so in order to do so, I'm like, all right, I need to actually make a plan. And that's so close and important to I'm sorry, I'm watching there's no show on, but that's so important towards the issues that I have with discipline overall, because it goes along with my workouts that I've been doing. So since Thanksgiving, I have consistently worked out at least 5 to 6 times a week. And I just started with walking, and I still walk because jogging makes my legs hurt. And then my knees will start acting funny and stuff like that. But the walking is good, and I can walk for quite some time. So I do about 4 miles a day. Today I only did 3 because it's gym time. So I'm adding in gym and weights and things like that, weight training. But I was like, I need to get back on it because over the past, what was it, like a year, 2 years, I've gained like 50 pounds. And so in order to be able to get myself back where I want to be, I have to be disciplined. I have to figure out how to make my work schedule with my 9 to 5 and my after hours with the Bliss Institute and school when I'm in school and leisure time. How do I actually make all of that work, as well as have a healthy wellness and lifestyle? And even with that, going further, building in a spiritual practice to go with it. And so I'm getting the financial stuff together, which is alleviating stress. It's helping me to see where I can make my money go further. And my projects for the summer are not around necessarily financial education and financial literacy, but it'll probably be a fall project for me. Oh, that'll be fabulous. It'll probably be a fall project for me to look really into financial literacy. I want to know more about investing. I want to know more about different forms and streams of income and how I can generate more coming in to pay off things that I have, to save for goals that I have. I would like to buy a house. I want to have a large down payment. I don't mind having a loan from the bank, but I'd like to have a very substantial down payment as well as a savings. I have emergency savings, but it's literally like 1,000 and a couple hundred. But I want to have more than that. I want to have a substantial savings for when I move to my house. And so since my 9 to 5 is pretty stable, I'm not too concerned about that form of income. My other additional form of income is very stable. It's not going anywhere. And so I only have those few consumer debts, and then I have the school loans. And so once the consumer debt is paid off and I can start aggressively paying down on my loans, but at the same time, I qualify for a debt repayment if I stay with my job for some more years. I'm not sure exactly how many. I think it's going to probably be like 6 more years. If I stay with my job that much longer and follow along the plan, I will qualify for a for the debt forgiveness. And so I'm kind of like, my thoughts about aggressively paying on the loans is not that high. So again, that's something else I need to learn about, because I'm just not sure like what's the best route to go with that. But in addition to all of that, the discipline, the spiritual practice, the work is, I'm looking at how do I tie kind of all of this together? Because for one thing, I've been waking up early in the morning. When I first started working out, of course, it was Thanksgiving, so it was cold. So I was going in the evenings and going to the gym and things like that. But now that it's summertime and it's super freaking hot and I like to walk, I'm getting up really early and going and working out in the mornings. And so for a while, I was on the struggle bus because I was trying to get up early and get out because I needed to come home and take a shower and get ready to go to work. And I didn't want to be at work. I didn't want to get to work late, and I need to stay late. And so I've been working on all of that. And I finally have gotten to this place where I'm waking up by 5. And even now I'm starting to wake up around 4, which is perfect. If I could wake up at 4, that's fantastic. And my goals with waking up around 4 would be to wake up at 4, meditate 15 minutes, stretch 15 minutes, get ready. And then that gives me, because I walk to where I work out, since it's in the neighborhood, and that gives me time to kind of just walk over there. I want to be on the trail by 5 o'clock. So then if I do my 4 miles, I'm off by like 6 something, and then I'm back at the house. I can take a bath and get dressed for the day, get all my stuff ready. Or depending on if I cut my miles a little down, I can go to the gym, and then I can work out and still make it home in time. So I want to make it so that everything flows. Like, I want it to be something where I'm intentional and the work that I'm doing has a purpose, and that I'm accomplishing some of the goals that I would like to make. Because even with that, one of my goals is I'd really like to grow my YouTube channel. I would really like to be consistent with readings and be consistent with full moon and new moon and solstice and astrology and all the things related to all the stuff that I like to do and that I found have worked for me. When I first went to graduate school, I really got deeply into my spiritual practice, and I would spend quite some time working on just like the money issue, because I was broke. In my first year of graduate school, I lived off of student loans because I had no job when I got here, because I had to move for graduate school. And I mean, it probably wasn't the best decision, but it was honestly the best year of my life, because I moved away from home. I was on my own for the first time, and I had, no connections, no friends, no one here. And I was finally able to like really embrace who I was and to be myself fully, like unashamed or anything like that, because there was no external influence. There was nothing impacting me outside of that. And it really helped me to discover myself. I found out how much I love working out. I found out how much I love meditating and spirituality and the things that I do. And that set that foundation for me. And then from there, I went to, working on things and paying off bills, and just really being able to set a schedule for myself and set a system for myself. And I want to get back to that. I've been here since 2011. So it's 8 years that I've been here to kind of grow and mature to this place where I can be like, okay, I can manage my time. Like, I'm an adult, I can manage my time. And also giving myself rest time. That has been probably one of the hardest things I've come to deal with, is that I'm always like, oh, I should be working on something. I should be doing something. I should be productive or creating or being, just doing something. And not even including like reading or watching a movie. I had the hardest time when I was talking to this one guy, and he liked to watch movies and he wanted me to watch the movies with him. And I was just like, I can't sit here for like an hour and a half and watch a movie. I need to be working. I need to be writing. I need to be doing something. So I'm still working on that. I'm still getting there. It is improving and I'm excited for it. I'm setting time aside. I have actual rest days where I don't do anything, where my schedule is free. So I can go sit and read. And that's usually is when I go to Starbucks and I'll chill out, bring a book with me and just read and relax. But I found it hasn't been the easiest thing, and I'm not always the best with consistency. And I think part of that is, they talk about the whole gifted and talented children and the perfectionists and the overachievers and all of that. And I had to let go of that perfectionism. And the way I found to do it was to just do whatever. And if it worked, it worked. And if it didn't, well, it didn't. And because of that, I lost that like attention to detail and wanting to finish things and see them to completion. And I really dislike that. Like I want to be able to follow through with things more. And I know that these are characteristics that are in alignment with my astrology, because I am a Libra, so I'm a cardinal sign. We're great at starting things. We're not the best at finishing them. We're great at coming up with ideas. We're not the best at following through with them. We need grounding. We need work people who will get us to like continue on to actually finish up on these things that we want to do. And then I'm into human design. My cat's here. I'm into human design. And so I am a projector, which means that I'm supposed to be the one where, we're supposed to be invited in for assistance. So even then, I don't, according to that system, create energy. I don't have any active motors, or I think I have like one. I think it's in the throat or something. But I don't have something that's giving me consistent energy. So the resting is so important, because then I get burnt out. I get like rested, and then I go and I do all the things, and then I get burnt out. So I can't maintain being able to do all the things. And so for a while, I was very much in the, oh, well, I will, do as much as I can. And then when I get burnt, and I tell people at work, they are very well aware of how I am, because I am like, I have to get as much done as I possibly can. Let me look at this cat, because he is acting crazy. Okay. I have to do as much as I can while I have all this energy to get it done. Otherwise, I'm going to be burnt out and I'm not going to be able to finish this. And so I am really trying. It's all tying up together, and it's all of that Saturn in Capricorn energy and that Uranus in Taurus, and really being able to look at like, what do we value? Where are our values? What do we do with our talents? How do we make all of this work for us? And that is where I am. So, and I know, I have Saturn in Sagittarius, and so it's all about the teaching. It's all about the education and the knowledge and the wisdom and the truth. And I love it so much. Like, it's so amazing. But these people on this show are fighting. It's insane. Anyways. But I mean, everybody's fighting. Oh my gosh. Fighting a little kid too. Okay. Insane. Anyways. Sorry, I got all distracted. But so it all ties together. And I know that, again, drawing back to psychology and drawing back to what that has to teach us about ourselves and what we're here for and what we do. I have Chiron and Gemini, so in the fourth house. So being able to discuss my, like what's going on with me and speak my truth and not be afraid or ashamed and being vulnerable, like, and healing the whole home thing, because I like to buy a home, like I mentioned, but I was like, I just couldn't commit. I just could not do it. I was just like, I don't want to have to be stuck here. I don't want to have to be where I can't move if I want to. I can't leave if I want to. I got to get rid of this cat. He's about to have a moment, and I don't want to get scratched. Where I can't leave if I want to. Like, that's really super important to me. He has torn my chair up. And so, because I'm like, oh, I need to be free. And I know that that's that Saturn in Sagittarius, like that need for freedom, that need to be able to learn and grow and travel and do all the things. But I also like really would like a home. Like I really like a space, and I love my apartment. It's very me. It's probably, would not be someone else's ideal space, but it's very me. It only has things that I enjoy in it and that I love in it and that are meaningful to me. And I would like to be able to expand upon that and to grow from that and to do more with it. And so, like, being able to actually set down roots somewhere and still be free, but have a place to stay, and like, this is my spot and I'm not trapped here. I'm deciding to be here. That's really big for me. And that's something I've been working on and something that I'm working towards. And it's taken me, I'm 31. Yes, I turned 32 this year. I'm 31, and it's taken me this long to be like, it's okay to find you a place and to be there. And it's the same issues that I have in relationships, because I'm just like, forever? This is it? Okay. But being okay with that, and not seeing that as a limitation, but as a space for growth and expansion. So I'm changing my mindset about a lot of things, but also seeing, I think one of the things that's been very inspirational and influential has been the budgeting, honestly, because finding extra money, and I guess it's not finding, but not, ending up, with zero every month because I've overspent, or never being able to save because I'm always dipping into my savings because I'm not tracking what I'm spending. And then, like, I just kept having, like, oh, I over budgeted for this. Oh, I over budgeted for that. So now I have money to go here. I have money to go there. I've got this overpayment, coming back in, and I've got that check to put in, and I can put this towards that. And the student loans was kind of a blow. But then once I thought about it again, I was like, you have the money for this, Kamilah. You can make this work, and then you can stay on track. You don't have to really change anything. You have master's degrees. You'll be fine waiting a little bit to finish up this next one. And then you can go and you can work your budget for next year, and you can factor this in, and you'll have it in there, and you'll have less things you have to pay for on the other sides. And you can still travel. Like, I have money as a part of my budget for birthday travel, for, Christmas and Thanksgiving. So I'm not really losing anything. It's just management. It's just, how am I managing it? And I feel like overall, like, that is what energy work is. It's not losing or giving. It's an exchange. It is managing it. It is working to grow and to tap into that overall abundance that's available for all of us. And so, although money may seem very secular, there's a spiritual component to it, because it's just energy. And so I'm working this out. I do have a money kind of, I guess, altar, not really. It's like a money little section. I have used in the feng shui. I have used the little map you can put over your house. So I do have things like set up around my home like that to support that energetically. And I'm going to see if we can work this out, make it work, make it do what it can do. So I think that's about it for this second paycheck. I'll actually try to do like how folks that I've seen, they have the whole like their expenses and their budgets and then all of that. And maybe I'll do my envelope stuffing because I'll do that on Saturdays. I do that on Saturdays. My budgets are, I get paid on every other Friday. And so I do my envelope stuffing Saturday mornings. And then I go and buy my food Saturday. So I do like most of my errands on Saturday because Sunday is my off day. That's my full on rest day where I don't do anything for anything unless I'm like fully rested and want to. So we'll see. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good night.